until Messiah, the Prince, allows himself to be declared as the king, there's going to be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. Now, why is it divided? Not exactly sure, but this 7 weeks seems to deal with that period of time when Jerusalem went back, and it took a while for them to rebuild Jerusalem under, not Nehemiah, but Ezra and Zerubbabel and those guys. It seems like that was that week period. So, let's do the addition, all right? 7 plus 62 equals what? 69. Thank you very much. 69 weeks. What's going to happen? From the issuing of a decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, there will be 7 weeks and 62 weeks, 69 weeks. And it will be built again, meaning the holy city, with plaza and moat, even in times of distress. So, from a decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, there will be 69 weeks. Now here's the deal I want to show you. I want to show you that we got a date for that decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem. And I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to tell you, and then after I'm done telling you, I'm going to tell you what I told you. So here's what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you that that date is March 5th, 444 BC. By the way, if it's March, what month would it be for the Jews?
Nisan.
It would be Nisan. Fascinating. It would be Nisan if we're in March. All right. All right. Let's go to Nehemiah chapter 2. All right. And it came to pass in the month of Nisan. In the month of Nisan. Now here's an interesting thing. It doesn't say in the 10th day of the month. It doesn't say in the 20th day of the month. It just says in the month of Nisan. If I came to you and said, "Behold, it's March," what day am I likely referring to? The first. Behold, it's Nisan. What day am I likely referring to? That actually was a Hebrew convention that when they didn't use the date, when they didn't say the 10th day of the month, the convention is it's the first of Nisan. All right? New moon time. Anyway, wine was before the king. I took up the wine. I gave it unto the king. Now I had not, I had not been before time sad in his presence. Wherefore the king said unto me, "Why is thy countenance sad, seeing that thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart." And then I was very sore afraid, and I said unto the king, "Let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lieth in waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire?" And then the king said unto me, "For what dost thou make a request?" So I prayed. He sent up a dart of prayer. He said, "God, all right," shoot. He said essentially, "Shoot down power, Lord." And then I said unto the king, "If it please the king, and if thy servant has found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldst send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchres, that I may build it." What does he want to do? He wants to restore and rebuild the city. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, "For how long shall thy journey be? When wilt thou return?" So it pleased the king to send me, and I sent him a time. Moreover, I said unto the king, "If it please the king, let letters be given me to the governors." Let me tell you something. You know what a letter is from a king? It's a decree. It's a decree. And the purpose of the decree was to let Nehemiah restore and rebuild Jerusalem, and Nehemiah had to go and get the wood for all this stuff, and so this letter, this decree, is what allowed him to go get all the materials so he could take it back. So when does it take place? When did I tell you it took place? I said March 5th, 444 BC. All right? Well, let's look and see about history, so we can know when to start this thing. We're going to figure out when to start this prophetic clock. This group of 7 weeks. Come on. Okay. How long does it tick? It ticks for 490 years, right? 7 times 70, 490 years. So, what is the prophecy for? It's for the Jews in Jerusalem, for your people and your holy city. So you're to know and discern that from the issuing of a decree to restore and rebuild Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, 69 weeks. All right, so you got that? You get where we're going? All right, so when does the clock start? There's a decree to restore. When is it? It's March 5th, 444 BC. Let me show you why I think it is that. Oh, shoot, I knew it. I had these out of order. the weeks, after the 69 weeks, the Messiah, I left out the T, sorry, will be cut off and have nothing. So something happens after the 69 weeks are done, all right? Now what happens at the end of the 69 weeks? Messiah the Prince. And then after that, he's cut off, and that term means executed. And then the people of the Prince who is to come will destroy the city. That happened in 70 days, and he'll make a firm covenant. All right. But I want to show you why we have these dates of March 5th, 44. Now I'm going to tell you. All right? Here's the deal. The reason we have this is because we know this, that Artaxerxes, he was named Longimanus. This is from the Encyclopedia Britannica. His reign was from 465 to 425 BC. And we know this because of this stuff, which is the Babylonian cuneiform things that were finally interpreted, and so we know what all this says. Xerxes was actually assassinated in 465. Xerxes, the father of Xerxes, was murdered by political aides in August 465. So scribes recorded his assassination date on a clay tablet known as that Babylonian astronomical text. Scholars have translated the text to show that Xerxes' murder occurred sometime between August 4th to the 18th, 465 BC. Upon his father's death, who became the king of Persia? Artaxerxes. Artaxerxes Longimanus. Scholars use the Babylonian astronomical text to determine that Artaxerxes' reign began in 465. So, if 465 was the date, about August of his first reign, his first year would go from August to July, correct? Okay? So for our purposes, he first starts in 465 BC, and then he's in what year to start the first Nisan that occurs in the first year of his reign is in 464. What did Nehemiah 2 say? What year of Artaxerxes' reign were we?
20th.
No, the 20th year. So the 20th year would be what? If this was 465, the 20th year would be what? 445. Oh shoot, why isn't that there? There it is. 445. And so his 20th year would start in August. And in this year, 440, we would still be in the 20th year of his reign. And then we would come to March. And astronomically, we can determine that the first of Nisan, because it is, what is the moon like on the first of Nisan? First of Nisan? It's a new moon. We can figure out the new moon, and we just do our calculations backwards, and we can figure out the first of Nisan was on March the 5th, 444 BC. Are you tracking with me? You got that? Are we doing okay? Because I wanted to show you that this is still the 20th year of his reign. This is now March. This is Nisan of the 20th year of his reign, and we know that from Nehemiah, that's the 20th year. So, if it starts on March 40th, March 5th, 444 BC, and Messiah the Prince comes right here, we know the date of Jesus' death, and I already told you that because it was April 3rd, 33 AD. So when did he establish himself as Messiah the Prince? When did Messiah the King finally appear publicly? Well, that was March 30th, 33 AD. All right? You got that calculator handy? Yep. All right. Now, let's do this. Let's do this. First off, from March 5th to March 30th, how many days do we have? 25. We got 25 days. So this is going to be really easy to calculate how many days this was, because whatever we get from 444 BC to 33 AD, we're going to multiply that by 365.242198. Okay? And then we're going to add, because that'll get us to March 5th, 33 AD, and then we're going to add 25 days to it. All right? So, you got your calculator handy?
Got it.
300, you got the number, big number in there?
No.
Now let's figure out how many years, by the way. How many years do we multiply this by? This is BC, this is AD. How many years? Do we just add them together? You add them together, except that there is no zero. You see, there's no zero, so you have to subtract one from your addition. So it's 444 plus 33, which would be 477, less 1 because there's no zero, 476. So now,
are we doing 365?
365.